Hello, Ronald. My name is Doug Bennett. I was a juror this year at the 2019 Texas Summerfest print competition, in which you entered this image, Scenic Loop Aspens, which scored a 79. Oh my goodness, I'm just 1 point away from hitting that merit category. What I'd like to do is to provide you some thoughts and comments on how to perhaps get this image bumped up into that next category, as well as some thoughts in terms of when you have this particular opportunity, whether at this location or another, some thoughts that might help you in terms of the original image capture. So let's speak to this one first. Uh, Great image to capture at this time of day. This time of day is tough in terms of getting real impact images because the light can be really harsh. But as I look at your image, your highlights are under control. I can see some textural detail even in this very bright aspen trunk here, and as well as I can see detail in the shadowed area. So uh, kudos to you for maintaining that detail. That can be hard to do. Images such as this, where you have a road or a path come in and then disappear inside the image instead of going out the edge over here, always are more inviting because it causes an individual, the viewer's mind, to wonder what's on around the bend. So certainly you've captured that here. I really like that aspect of it. Got a lot of nice repetition going on here with these trunks. Got it going on over here a little bit. But the time of day of your image capture here, and even as well as you handled the dappled sunlight here, it creates a certain starkness that I think just makes it hard for an image shot at this time of day to have the kind of impact that the jurors are looking for. And certainly that's, as you know, that's one of the principal elements of the 12 elements of a merit print. And one of the things that shooting at this time of day did to you, even though you handled it as well, as I mentioned, it created very strong sunlight on this one here. This one tree is your brightest one. And so with its angle and with this one being somewhat repetitive behind it, it really draws the eye to this side of the image. Whereas the rest of these trees and these are kind of more similar in nature of their size as well as the lighting on them. So this became a distracting element overall in your image. I would just invite you to picture seeing this scene later in the day when this is in shadow. Perhaps the clouds are getting some evening light on them. You get that nice calmness in here. It would really drive the impact and the beauty of this image, which I'm sure would have uh, been very easy to break that 80 score barrier there for merit print. The other thing I would mention to you is the blue sky. Uh, Certainly, being from Colorado, I know that skies at altitude and clean air can really get blue. But in this case here, your blues up in here are getting a little too inky, a little too dark. Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about there or observing there. And jurors typically will really focus on that the sky is unrealistic. And certainly, I think in this case, this has gone a little too dark for you. So lightening up the sky here, desaturating, get rid of that inkiness, even pulling down the blue saturation over here a little bit would help. I'm sure that the blue sky here is pretty much all unaltered from what you may have had in your original capture. But one of the things I've noticed with digital capture, it can cause blue skies to get a little too dark like this. So that's something you generally probably will want to go in and adjust each time to make it as realistic as possible. The last thing I would point to you is your presentation looks very nice. I like it. Double stroke lines going on here. I like the fact that they're nice thin stroke lines. The only thing I would suggest to you is that they're still perhaps a little too bright and a little too much saturation. So for both of these, I would suggest pulling down the brightness of the stroke line as well as the saturation. Jurors really seem to not want these to stand out too much, and even though I think it looks really nicely, but best thing to do is not to give them something to focus on. So nice shot. I'm kind of curious as to where you got this. I like shooting fall scenes myself. You really happened upon a nice one here. Next time I would schedule hitting here early in the morning or late in the evening and seeing what this scene could reward you with. So again, thanks for entering the Summer Fest Print Competition, and appreciate this opportunity to provide you hopefully some helpful comments on your image.